Are you ready?
I think we're ready.
Okay, let's do it.
Let's do it.
Hello, and welcome to Spooky Sips, where we put our love of horror movies into a podcast and sip some spirits along the way. I'm one of your hosts, Yvette. I'm here with my co-hosts, Laura and Brianna.
Hello.
Hey. All right. So we just threw it way back to the year 2000 and watched Final Destination. I just have to say this movie was such a blast from the past for me, but we'll get into that. So basically this movie is about a group of teens that are supposed to go on a trip to France with their class. And one of the kids gets like a premonition that the plane is going to crash, freaks out, and a group of, I think, 7 of them get off of the plane. And then what happens? The plane explodes. And they basically spend the rest of the movie trying to figure out how to cheat death.
Yes.
So good. Okay. So had you seen this before? And if so, when did you see it?
Yeah, I had watched it before. I actually watched the sequel first. So like the Final Destination, I think it's either 2 or 3 was the first one that I saw. That's the one with the log truck, the logging truck.
Yes.
Which will forever be ingrained in my mind. But that was the first Final Destination movie I saw. And then I think I like rented or saw this one after. So yeah, I'd seen it once before.
Okay.
Yeah, the log one is Final Destination 2. And it's funny because that's what I always think of when I think of Final Destination.
Yes.
But yeah, it's not in the first one. As a super fan of Devon Sawa in my early childhood to early adulthood, I absolutely saw this movie when it first came out multiple times because I was in love. And so, yes, I saw it. Yeah, and it was like really scary when I first saw it, I remember, but this was such a blast from the past. Like just their outfits that they wore, the 2000 vibe,
the makeup,
amazing.
The music, it screamed 2000. Even the movie poster of like the super highlighted faces. Oh.
Yeah.
What about you, Brianna?
Yeah, I had seen it when it was on TV. Like I didn't go and see it in the theater because I think I was a little young, but I did see it on TV. But I thought that it was the one with the logs. So like I was waiting the entire movie
for
the log scene. And then I was like, oh wait, this must not be the one. And I looked it up after the fact and was like, oh, okay. So now I feel like I need to go see the second one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do we need to do all of them?
I think we might need to do them all.
They're releasing another one. They think 2024 we're going to get Final Destination 6.
Oh man.
Okay, so I think between now and then we need to watch all of them.
Yeah, absolutely. I think we'll have to prepare for sure.
Yeah.
No, I mean, tell me you haven't been behind a car carrying something that looks not very safe.
I will not
immediately flash to Final Destination
every time.
I change
every single time.
I fully expect like my neck to just be impaled. Like I expect it to just go through the windshield, decapitate me every single time. I will not drive behind one of those trucks.
Or even next to. Yeah.
No. Yeah. The amount of this movie said, you know what? You're not paranoid enough. And we all internalize that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Oh,
so yeah, this movie also holds a bit of a special place in my heart because I've just admitted that I was very in love with Devon Sawa as a child. So was my good friend at the time, my really best friend at the time, and her name is Alex.
Oh,
and my maiden name is Browning. And when we didn't live near each other when this movie came out, because we were best friends as we were young, and then we moved away. And then our love interest, Devon Sawa,
oh my gosh,
his name in the movie is a combo of our name, Alex Browning. And I was like, my gosh, that is a sign. I have to go see the movie.
So it is a sign.
I was doomed to love this movie no matter what.
Yeah. It is. Okay, so what else had Devon Sawa been in? I mean, maybe this is going to show my age, but I didn't recognize him from anything else. I'm sorry.
Okay, let me tell you what. He's been in Casper. He was Casper the Friendly Ghost.
Yeah.
He was in the
Okay.
movie Little Giants, which no one knows about, but he was a hot kid in that movie when I was a child.
Ooh, okay.
And he was in Now and Then.
Yes.
That's when
Okay.
I truly fell in love with him, when he kissed Christina Ricci.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
He was a heartthrob. He was in Teen Beat.
Yeah, he was like a late
Teen
90s
Beat.
heartthrob.
Oh, I love this.
God, you were so in love with him.
Oh, I bought the
just-
magazine.
I'm so
you
you
guys-
probably still have it
I do.
somewhere. Oh my gosh.
I went through these old boxes of stuff that I had like hoarded from when I was a kid, and I found 2 magazines with Devon Sawa on the cover.
We
I
need a
love that you
picture of
kept that.
those.
Oh,
we
I'll
need a
send
picture of
them
those
to you.
right away.
Yeah, we're
Yeah.
gonna need that. We'll put it on the gram.
Yes.
Mhm.
Okay,
Yes.
I'll take some. I'll take
Did you
some.
have a poster or anything?
Oh, absolutely. I did.
Okay. Love it.
Yeah.
I love
course
it.
she
Oh my
did.
gosh. So this movie hit different for you.
It really
this is a
did.
different movie for you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh
It's
my
good.
gosh, so
I
good.
love it. Oh my gosh.
Okay, so let's talk about what we're sipping on before we get into the movie too much.
Yeah.
So I got to choose the drink this month, which I don't usually get to choose the drink. So I was excited for it. So for January, in case you're doing dry January, we chose a mocktail for you this time.
Mhm.
So I looked it up and I found out that the most popular cocktail on an airplane is a Bloody Mary. So we're having virgin Bloody Marys tonight.
Mhm.
I think the
Yeah.
name Bloody Mary also works very well
Oh,
for
it
this
works.
movie. So
That's,
that's what
really
we're sipping on.
surprising that that's what people are ordering on flights. I don't, like it does make sense, but that was really surprising to me that that's what people are ordering.
That is
Yep.
always what I want on a plane, actually, other than wine. Like I
It's
want
tomato
a
juice.
Bloody Mary. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Do they put anything in it? Like, have you ordered it on a flight?
Yeah,
It's just-
they'll give you the little mix and then they'll give you like a vodka.
Oh, okay.
So
they
you
won't
can,
throw
like-
like a celery stick or a pickle or anything.
No, but
right?
do you know what they have that I got the last time because I did this? I
Mhm.
got my little Bloody Mary can and I had a vodka that time. They had this packet of lime. It was like dried lime, salt
Ooh.
almost, and you put it in the Bloody Mary. It was very good.
Ooh.
Oh, nice.
I've once just had it served with a lime. but-
Right.
That
But
makes
I
sense.
liked the lime salt. It was very good.
That's cool.
I am cheating
Go
a
ahead.
little bit. I'm cheating a little bit, and I am having a little bit of wine tonight.
Yes. Also, you can sip on some wine if you would
I'm sipping
rather
on a little bit of
try.
wine, but I watched the movie with my dry January in mind.
Yes, I am
Yeah.
doing dry January, so that's why we chose a mocktail this month.
Yeah, I'm not a Bloody Mary person. I'm more of a mimosa gal. Also, I'm not doing dry January, so I'm sipping on the unofficial beer of Montana, the good old Montucky, because we had this in the fridge.
nice. Excellent choice.
Yes.
Well
All
done.
right, so let's get into it. Let's get
do
into the
it.
movie.
Hey, do we want to do the deaths?
Yeah, I think that
Maybe?
we
Okay.
should.
Let's start with
I
some
mean,
deaths.
It starts with a lot of deaths.
I was gonna
over
say, I think we might
200.
have just broken a Spooky Sips record, right?
Yeah, I
Because
think
death
so.
number 1, we got, I think I wrote it down, 287 people.
Nice. Okay, yeah, I think that's our record for deaths in a film.
Yeah.
And that plane crash scene was terrifying.
So well done.
I have to say,
yeah.
because the movie started out like the very first scene in the movie when Devon Sawa, Alex Browning, is just talking to his parents. The worst acting I've ever seen.
Oh, so bad.
cheesy, so
Yes.
awful. You think this movie's going to be terrible, but then they show the plane crash scene,
Mhm.
and it's horrifying.
it's quick, but it sticks with you. Like it is
Oh
a
my gosh,
serious
yeah.
disaster moment.
like
Yeah.
Like the
first
girl getting
movie-
sucked out of the plane trying to hold on. Like, holy cow.
And then like Alex Browning's face melting off at the end.
Mhm.
so
I-
good.
And the people like flying down the plane. Like I feel like it was so well done, actually.
Yeah,
Agreed.
It got my
Agreed.
attention.
absolutely.
Yeah, after the
Absolutely.
intro, which definitely made me roll my eyes a couple times, where it's like, okay, guys, like we get it. They're gonna die.
Yeah.
We get it.
Yeah. Like, obviously, we know what they're setting us up for here. Okay. Thank you.
So
Oh,
after the plane crash happens, there's a like a bunch of news stories that they show.
Mm-hmm.
And so
Mhm.
this leads me to a question. Was this movie shot in Canada?
Mm-hmm.
I didn't look it up. I didn't
Oh.
research it.
It is.
The newscaster, I picked up on some very Canadian accented words from
Oh.
her and then from a couple of people sprinkled throughout the movie. So I didn't
Mhm.
look it up on purpose because I wanted to find out from you.
Yeah,
if it's
It
shot
was
in-
filmed in good old Vancouver, BC.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I could
Yeah,
see
so
that.
they were in the Vancouver airport, so they had to really try to not get all the Canadian flags in the
Oh,
picture. So they had to like kind of creatively plan all of their shots in order to avoid them.
nice.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Mhm.
Okay, so this group of mostly kids and one teacher escape
Mhm.
death, right?
Because
Like,
Alex has seen, he gets these
Mm-hmm.
visions.
yeah,
He gets these visions of the plane is crashing, and
Mhm.
and actually the scene that we see that's terrifying never ends up really happening. I mean, it does,
it does,
but not
it's
with
his
the
premonition.
with the 6 main characters of the movie.
Right.
They're off of the plane at this point that it happens.
Mm-hmm.
But
So they get off the plane because he gets kicked off the plane because he freaks out and is like, I got to
Yeah.
get off this plane. And a group of them all go off.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's kind of how this group is formed and
Mhm.
escaping death.
and they all start like they all get really like mad at him.
They're so
or
mean to
are
it.
treating him like he's crazy, and it's like,
I mean,
guys,
I could understand. Like, it's fucking their trip up. Like,
but he just saved your life.
yeah, but they don't know that yet. Like,
But once they do, they're still mad at him.
yeah, but
Yeah.
that's just because that one guy's a jerk. Like,
Yeah, I have some insight onto that later.
trauma's a weird thing. It does
Yeah.
weird things to us.
Yeah.
At one point when they're off the plane, and like I think this is maybe before the plane actually blows up, I
Mhm.
wrote down because I couldn't understand what this was a reference to. Alex tells Carter. So I don't know who Carter even is. Oh, Carter's
the
the
jerk.
The jerk. Yeah.
Carter's the jerk. So Alex tells Carter, he goes, "Stay off the JD." Did either of you pick up on that line?
Stay off the
What does that
JD.
mean?
JD.
I don't know. He said it at about 29
Is
minutes
that
into
like
the movie.
some kind of like
I totally didn't catch that.
testosterone, like some kind of steroid?
Maybe it's got to be because it
Do
was
you know
about
what I
29
mean?
minutes into the movie. So spooky sippers, if you're listening and you find the answer to this, please message us.
Yeah, maybe it's like some kind of like steroid.
It's got to be maybe.
I don't know.
I
feel like
didn't
that would
understand
make
it.
sense. Like
All right.
roid rage.
Yeah, that would make
No?
sense. That would make sense.
Okay. All right.
I'm looking this up. Some people think it stands for Jack Daniels, like stay off the
Oh.
booze,
I don't know.
is what a
Oh.
few people
Or
theorize.
maybe I misheard it. I can
No,
go
you're
back
not
and
the only
rewatch it.
person. There's, oh my gosh, there's so many people asking this online. You totally caught something that other people have
Really?
been wondering
Time
about.
for a
Yeah.
deep dive.
Oh shit.
Oh my gosh.
Huh.
Someone,
I think we need
please.
like sound effects and we need a deep dive sound effect.
Mhm.
I think we
We're
should
like,
do that for sure.
Time for a deep dive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, someone
Like
please figure this out. Oh,
radio
the
DJs.
director, James Wong, if you could just get back to us
Yeah.
on that question, that'd be great.
Yeah, we'll let you phone in.
Yeah.
Yeah, great. So at this point, we don't know that there's something ominous happening. We think it was just the plane crash.
Correct.
Mhm.
And we don't know that until our next victim. This poor sweet Todd, right?
Oh, Todd.
So, but we kind of know. Should we talk about how we know it's going to happen?
True. We do know it's going to happen. Mhm.
That's true. Yes.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So Alex is sitting in his room looking through a classy penthouse because this is 2000, the year 2000.
Brown chicken,
Yep.
brown cow.
But he like gets distracted because some owl comes up and like rams up against the glass window, and then I forget how does
He
the
throws it.
Throws it.
he throws
fan.
he throws the penthouse or the some sort of papers
Yep.
at the owl.
Mhm.
It gets knocked into his fan. That they always have these like really ominous shots of the fan.
Yes.
Just the
It's
fan.
strange.
All the time. The whole movie.
Yeah. It's like the fan is not
Fan
great.
never does
Unless maybe the
anything.
fan ends up killing someone in future Final Destination.
Maybe. I don't know,
I
but
don't know. Mhm.
But
And
chops
the-
up the pieces of paper.
yeah. And the name Todd, TOD, comes flying out at him. And so he runs to Todd's house because he's like, oh shit, like
Yeah.
it's going down. And it's too late. By the time he gets there,
Mhm.
the ambulance is there because we just saw in the previous scene Todd's horrific death.
That scene is so good at building tension
Yes.
and anxiety.
Yes.
When he is using, I think it was like the little scissors, like clippers, and he puts them in his nose, I
Mhm.
immediately like flinched back. And then it was like, no, just kidding. It's not going to be that. Like they tease you a little bit, but they built so much tension. It was such a
Yes.
long scene, but I think it worked so
Yeah,
well.
because he's doing all these mundane things as the water's just creeping up to him.
Mhm.
Because
And
I was so young when I first saw this movie, and I saw it on TV that like I genuinely had no recollection of this movie. So
Mhm.
like it was like I was watching it for the first time, and I could
Yeah.
not remember how Todd died. So every moment I was panicked.
It's
Yes.
like, what's going to happen? And then one cool thing is when they were building the set for that bathroom, they wanted it to feel off. So I guess if you really notice, none of the walls are even at 90 degrees and the tiles aren't square. So the room was made to be off. Like there was something that was just really off about
Weird.
the whole bathroom, which
okay.
I didn't catch anything like that, but like it did look like something was wrong. Like it looked like the dimensions were wrong
Yeah.
agree.
when
Yeah.
they kind of zoomed in on Todd every once in a while. So I feel like that was kind of cool.
Yeah.
Oh, that is cool.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's like a hanging line, and he goes to like take the things off the hanging line in the shower. It's like one of those old school wire ones.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And he
We've
slips.
seen the water.
Yeah,
that
we
was coming
see
from
the
the
water
toilet.
that's coming from the toilet, like following him around
Mhm.
ominously. And he finally slips on it. He knocks the shampoo bottle over. He falls into the shower, which is now filled with the shampoo. So it's slippery and he can't like grasp with his feet.
Yeah.
And the
Mhm.
wire goes around his neck. And
Yes.
he ultimately chokes to death.
And can we talk about the bloody eyeballs?
Yes. That was such a good detail.
It was
Such a good detail.
but thanks, I hated it.
Yeah, it
Yes.
was disgusting.
Oh my gosh. Yes.
Yeah.
That was such a good scene. That's
Yeah.
such a good scene. I guess to do the water on the tile, because honestly, I thought it was like CGI or something.
Yeah.
The water, because it like goes down perfectly. I guess they actually just set certain tiles higher
Oh,
and then had the water just like running to go into it. So they were kind of just like crossing their fingers every time, trying to make sure that it would go the right way, because it didn't on every single take. So they were just kind of
Right.
like watching the water, like fingers crossed that it would do what they expected it to do.
That's
Cool.
amazing.
It's kind of cool. Yeah.
that is
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
But yeah. Oh, it was such an intense scene. And then we get the water coming back.
Yes.
That retreat.
Death is
And it
sneaky.
retreats back into, and I think this is the only death where that happens, right?
Yeah.
Like this is the only one where like it looks like this entity death, I think,
Mhm.
is like intentionally there and present. Like we
Yeah.
see
Like-
the murky shadow, but this is the only time that it
Yeah.
like does something like that, right?
Yeah.
I
And then
think so.
hides its tracks.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Mhm.
Because like you said, the murky shadow, we see that almost in every scene. We see this
Right.
little like
Mhm.
it almost like is like a flicker of the camera or a kind of a wave. And this shadow. So we know when death is there, but that was the first time it looked like it like came in, did the job, and then left.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
So then Alex, and by the way, I don't know if either of you watched this with subtitles.
No.
Are you about to say her name?
Yes. So when I'm first watching this, I realized that the subtitles said that it was Alex and her name is Clear. And I thought, silly subtitles, you messed up the name. Her name is not Clear, it's Claire. You spelled it wrong.
No, it's Clear Rivers.
Her
Clear.
name is Clear.
And her
name's
last name is
Clear.
Rivers, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Her
Clear
name
Rivers.
is Clear Rivers.
Yeah.
But like I never picked up on that watching that the first time or the third time when I was a kid, like watching it. I thought her name was Claire the whole time.
Yeah.
But her name is Clear.
I also
Yeah.
thought it was Claire. No,
Yeah.
I 100%. Because I watched it with Matt and he pointed out, he's like, is her name Claire? And I was like, no, Matt, that's dumb. Her name's Claire, obviously.
Obviously.
No,
Yeah.
her name's Claire.
Mhm.
So then Alex and Clear,
Clear.
they go to kind of investigate Todd, because at this point they're getting very suspicious. I mean, they already were,
Mhm.
but at this point, Clear feels like she can understand Alex, and Alex has these premonitions of death. So then they go to kind of investigate Todd at the morgue.
Mhm.
And I love when they walk in, they see him. It's his face is
after
uncovered.
they come in through the ceiling,
Right.
because they just knew that they could climb through this window and rappel down.
I'm like, how well did they know this morgue?
Right.
Like,
Exactly.
Completely normal. Yes, your friend just died. You seem pretty cool though. Let's go rappel down a window.
yeah.
Also, he's the only body. It's clearly him. And they go, is that him? What do you mean, is that him?
Yeah.
Sure, people look different when they've died.
Right.
But they're still the same person.
Yeah.
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 It's ridiculous.
So funny.
That whole scene was so weird.
So like
with the
weird. It's so like 2000s weird is how I would coin that. Like that was a very 2000s weird moment. I feel like, I don't know.
The mortician.
The mortician. Yeah. It's one of those scenes. Honestly, I've been thinking about it. I still can't decide if I love it or hate it.
Yeah, I think
because
I love
it's
it.
kind of out of place in the movie, which is why I kind of hated it. But I loved the scene itself.
Yeah.
If that makes any, like, I want to see more of
Completely.
this mortician.
I think
Yeah.
I both love to hate it and hate to love it.
Right?
Yep.
Both of
No,
those
it's both.
options apply.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yep.
And very
Also-
2000s.
Very.
Yeah, very.
Also in that scene is when Todd, the corpse,
Mhm.
his hand shoots up. So we get like a
Mhm.
jump scare.
Oh, yeah.
which is a
that one
good
got
one.
me. Mhm.
And I have heard that is a thing, that
Oh,
It
yeah.
is.
people who have been dead for quite some time actually
Yes.
still have like chemical reactions in their
Yep.
body.
No, it really is a
and
thing.
Move or sit up.
Yep.
Mhm.
Or like take a breath, like have like
Oh.
air left in their lung and can like expel air. Yeah.
Oh.
No, it's a real thing.
Oh, shout out to morticians everywhere because I could not imagine.
Okay, so funny side story. So back in my heyday, I studied accounting
Mhm.
for a few years. And here's a weird thing. If you're an accounting student, I went to community college, you share a lot of your classes with morticians, like in training, because
Oh.
morticians are their own business owners. So they take a lot of business classes and they do their own books. So they take accounting classes.
Oh my
So I used to
gosh.
have a ton of classes with like to be morticians. Fascinating stories.
Oh, I can imagine. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh. Oh, that's so
they
weird.
were fun. Like taking night classes with a bunch of morticians. Wild.
That's amazing.
Yup.
That's amazing. Yeah.
Okay, so I'm super excited to talk about our next death because I think it's my
Oh,
the entire movie.
so good.
Wait,
It's so
before we do that,
good.
can we talk about my favorite line? Because it's right before the next
Oh
death.
yes.
Yeah.
So in the weird 2000 scene with the mortician, he says what I believe is probably the best line in any movie of that era.
Let's hear it.
It's when he's talking about like changing death's pattern and you can't do that. And he goes,
Mhm.
and you don't even want to fuck with that Mac Daddy.
Oh, yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
I love that
I
part.
was
It was
like,
so good.
whoa, like mic
Whoa.
dropped.
Yeah. And he
Yeah.
delivered it so beautifully, which is
So
why,
good.
again, like it felt kind of out of place in the movie, but I
Right.
loved it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I had to throw that line out there. Now let's
No,
move
we
on.
had to bring up that line for sure. No, I'm happy you noted that one.
No, that's a great line. It really is.
Okay, so we can get to death number 3.
So this
we
one
can
comes fast
yeah.
and dirty.
It's so good. It's so good. You get Alex and Clear at a coffee shop. When then we get Carter and Terry, who are driving by, decides to be an asshole, come say hi. The gang's all here. Billy was on his bike, and the teacher
And even
just
the
so happened to
teacher.
be there.
Mhm.
So they were all there. And then we get Terry going on this little rant, walking off. onto the street, and then bam, hit by a bus.
Okay, I audibly gasped. And I don't do that a lot in movies because, again, I had forgotten. And okay, so we should say earlier when they're at the cafe, Alex in the window saw like a premonition of a bus flash by.
Yeah.
But I thought that it was going to hit Billy when he was on his bicycle. And I just totally forgot about the bus at that point. So when it came smashing into Terry, like totally got me.
It was
And that was it. Bam,
good.
done.
It was right after she told Carter to drop dead.
Yes.
Yes.
Like, if you're gonna be so
you
stupid,
can
you should drop dead.
Drop dead. Bam.
Hit by a
Yep.
bus.
Yeah. Classic.
Oh,
So
and
I
they did
loved
it
that
first.
one.
This was before Mean Girls, you know, this was
Yes.
before like they did this first.
They
I always
did.
think of Meet Joe Black. I always think of Meet Joe Black
Oh.
when.
That was a taxi, not a bus, but yes.
Oh, was it a taxi?
I think it was a taxi.
In my mind, it was so dramatic. I'm envisioning this big bus thing. I
See,
watch
like,
that
went up
movie
on the
every single
hood.
year. I
I
should
know.
remember it.
I
but
know.
don't know.
Yeah.
Oh,
Sounds
so
so
good.
good.
Yeah, I love how just like bam, fast that one is.
Yeah. So the way that they shot it, it's like pretty easy. You just have, you know, the actress who played Terry on the street, and then you just replace her with a dummy filled with like fake blood and stuff. So
Nice.
then when the bus hits, it like splatters everywhere.
Amazing.
That's how they were
That
able
would be
to
so
do that.
fun to film,
Right?
I think.
Oh, so I
wanna-
guess when they did the testing for this movie, they had the scene and people reacted kind of like we did, which is, you know, audibly gasp, kind of need a second. But originally it kind of immediately jumped to the next scene. But the test audience was still processing what happened. So that's why they added that weird scene where they're like drinking Alka-Seltzer.
Oh, okay, because they spend a lot of time like filming the glass filled with Alka-Seltzer. So that makes a lot of sense.
So it's literally just there for filler to give people a
like
little
a
bit more
beat.
time to process, which I mean, it does make sense. Like it takes a second to process what just happened,
Yeah.
but like, why that?
Yeah.
I must have been processing because I'm not honestly even remembering that.
They zoom in on a cup of them dropping a tab in that it looks like
Yeah.
Alka-Seltzer, and then it starts foaming.
Yeah.
It
And
was
that's
so
literally
weird.
it. So weird.
It was
Yeah.
so weird.
Huh. Yeah.
But yeah. All right. On to death number 4.
Yes.
Or 290 something. I don't know.
Oh yeah.
Whatever it is. We get
Yup.
to Miss Luton.
Miss Luton, what a mess.
Luton.
What
Oh.
a mess. So yeah, she did not handle this well, which I actually appreciate because I don't think you would handle this well. Like the survivor's guilt, the trauma. There's a lot happening here. So like
if we could jump back to like the memorial where she sees Alex and she's just like, you terrify me.
you terrify me.
Like,
Wow.
poor
Alex.
saving my life.
I know, right? Like, so yeah,
Yeah.
she's a disaster. So she's gonna
is.
get out of town.
She's not doing well. She's got to go.
Yeah, she's out of here.
She is drinking vodka on ice out of a coffee mug.
She tried to
Nice.
make tea. And
when
then
that
she
failed-
threw the tea. I forget.
Yeah,
I
it's
forget why
almost
she
like-
got rid of the tea.
At first, I rewound it because I was like, "Oh, is there like a spider in her cup?" But she
Mhm.
just threw it. Like,
Because it had the high school logo on it, and that reminds her of so when she was going to get on the plane, there was 2 teachers, and the one teacher said, "Oh, I'll stay back with the
Mhm.
kids who are causing trouble," and she goes, "No, you know all the French stuff, so you go." So she sent him to his death. So she has
Mhm.
all of this,
right,
which we'll talk about in the psych segment. She has
Mhm.
all the survivor's guilt. So she sees like the high school like
I
logo.
did
That's why
pick
she's
up
threw
on
it.
that.
Totally
Yeah,
didn't catch.
Okay,
Didn't
Yeah,
catch
I
that
thought there
either.
was a bug in her cup. I don't know.
I mean, that'd be my reaction too if I saw a bug.
Right?
But then,
No, I
but
couldn't
then
tell what
why
it
not
was
just
either.
make more
Yeah.
tea? Why switch to
No,
vodka?
you know what?
Because
She tried the tea. We're moving on
didn't
to
work.
vodka.
You got to
Look,
move on
we've
to the
all
hard
been
stuff.
there.
Yes.
Yeah.
So anyway, she has vodka on ice in her cracked mug. Wait, hold on. When does she call the police? Because Alex is being super sus.
So she's on the phone with someone else.
Yes.
And she looks out her window and she sees Alex and she's like, "Hey, I gotta go." And that's when she calls the police.
Okay, so I think it's right before, right? Because
Yes.
Alex is being super sus. This is
Mhm.
like the FBI they know that he didn't do anything to the plane, but he's still suspicious because he was
Absolutely.
there as soon as Todd died. You know, like they were trying to figure out what was wrong. Ms. Luton sees Alex outside because did he get a premonition that it was her that was next?
I think he figured out this point. He had figured out Death's design, and he knew that Death's pattern was first
Todd.
first Todd, then Terry, and next was going to be Miss Luton. So he's like checking out her tires and like being, yeah.
And I think he's trying to see like if he can find.
Yeah, he's trying to save her, but it looks really suspicious.
Yeah. So he gets like arrested or taken to the station for questioning from the police.
Yeah.
And then that's when we get Miss Luton with her drink. Okay, I'm like, remember, so she gets the vodka, the cup cracks, I guess, because of the temperature, right?
Yeah.
Difference. She's walking around, doesn't notice that vodka is spilling her entire trail.
Right. Like how much vodka did she have in that cup?
Right. She like leans over
over
a computer, which is turned off, but like that's fine, which then lights on fire.
Yeah, like sparks. There's like a random ass spark.
And then is that when she gets like stabbed by the glass? Does it explode?
And it explodes.
Okay, so the TV explodes.
In the neck.
And actually, I have a fun fact about this.
Ooh.
And I have some fun facts only because of the fact that, so my cat had to have surgery. And so I watched this movie not on my normal TV, but I watched it on my laptop in bed while I was like taking care of her. But she proceeded to then walk all over my laptop. And I discovered something. If you are watching this movie on Amazon and you either hover over the mouse or push pause, it randomly displays all these fun facts on the side of the screen.
Oh, that's cool.
Has like X-ray.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
Yeah, it has like all these like, oh, here's like a continuity error, or here's like a
IMDb's.
Oh, like their facts
and puts it like at the scene that it's at. Yeah, it's really cool.
It's really cool. So
Amazon, if you want to sponsor our next podcast.
Yeah. Jeff Bezos, just email us.
Jeffrey Bezos.
But anyway, I found from that they shot that scene in reverse. So what they did was the glass that they had basically had it in her neck with like this kind of like a fishing line or something that they could then edit out. And so instead of it shooting into her neck, they yanked it out and then played the footage in reverse.
Oh, that's so cool.
So that's how they got that scene to go.
Nice.
So, yeah. But anyway, so it like basically like severs her. Is that your carotid? What's your carotid?
I think that's your carotid.
I'm thinking
your aorta is your heart.
Okay.
Like your aorta is like down here, I think.
Oh, okay. It's your carotid.
Oh, no.
Yeah, I think it's your carotid artery. That sounds right.
There's a lot of blood.
Yeah. So she's bleeding already.
Yeah, her death is like a cluster of every way a person could die. It's gonna get her.
Oh, it's
like
so much.
Glass through the neck.
Stabbed in the neck. And then I don't even remember how it goes down.
The vodka line.
Yeah,
lights on fire, which lights fun fact, on fire. That would not happen. Vodka's not flammable enough.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Yeah,
unless she's drinking like 100 proof vodka. Like, even
maybe it's moonshine.
Oh, here we can do a fun story of how we almost burnt down our basement. So Matt and I do a lot of photos for our cocktails. It's something that we have liked doing for like a while. So back. It was like when the pandemic first started. So we were at home a lot. We thought it'd be fun to try to take some cocktail drinks. And we had seen a few where the drink is on fire.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And so we wanted to get like a cool like fire shot. And then that's when we learned that, most alcohols aren't like high enough proof. So we just used like whatever we had on hand that was flammable, like rubbing alcohol or something. So we start, getting these ideas for our photo because it'd be so fun. And it was like, it'd be cool if we could get like water coming off of the glass So, Matt set up with the camera. We
Oh,
set the
God.
glass, like a martini glass, on the table. And then I was going to throw ice cubes in after I lit it on fire. Cause that'd be a cool photo. It was a cool photo. But then the liquid that jumped out of the glass started lighting things on fire. So some of our carpets started burning, and then you just had like a trail of fire on the table. So we're like patting it off.
Oh my
Oh
god.
my gosh. So next time have a fire extinguisher when you're doing this.
Yes.
So yeah, maybe like don't light rubbing alcohol on fire
Also,
in your house.
All right.
I really want to
well,
see this cocktail photo. Will you?
Oh,
please
I'll find
share?
it.
Okay.
dig it
yeah,
up.
because we're
Yeah.
gonna need the evidence of this, I think.
Okay.
That's
I
for
actually
sure.
think it turned out kind of cool.
I
but
bet.
I almost lit our basement on fire.
I love
That's
that.
amazing. That's
All right,
amazing.
so poor Miss Luton's on fire.
Her life.
Well,
is on
she's not
fire.
actually, but her
and
house
then
is on fire.
she
And
goes. I think
yeah, what is it that happens?
she goes to pull a towel down. I think to kind of stop the bleeding on her.
Oh yes,
neck.
because to stop the bleeding, but it's
Yeah,
over her knife.
She's like kind of passed
rack.
out at this point, like reaching on the ground.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's over her knife rack, and she pulls it down, and she gets stabbed right in the middle of the chest with a knife.
Yes, it like rained knives down on her.
So good. And then the chair
Oh,
falls like further
Onto
stabbing
the knife, and just finally does her in.
mhm, mhm.
At which point, Alex had been released from jail. He has run
Mhm.
back to her house. He sees that it's on fire. Like he runs inside and he sees that it's on fire. He tries to save her, but he grabs the knife out of her chest, which don't ever
Don't
do. Leave
Do it.
the knife.
He even
or the
realized, he like kind of looks at it. He's like, oh,
object.
I probably shouldn't
Shit.
have done
Have
that.
we learned nothing from Grey's Anatomy, people?
Right.
I
If
know.
there is an object in someone, don't remove it.
And get your fingerprints all over
Yeah.
it. Like,
I was
what do you
thinking
do
more
to me?
fingerprints, but like, yeah, that's nice that
Oh.
you were thinking of like the victim.
And
Oh,
his
I was.
shoe prints are all up in her blood. It's a disaster.
Like,
and
you'll never get away with murder that way.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's also a good point.
And at this point, I think he realizes that the house is about to explode because of how on fire it is. So he runs out of there.
Yes.
And as he runs out and the house explodes, Billy is driving by on his bike and sees Alex.
Man, Billy just bikes. Billy's just
Billy is
always
just
on his
always
bike,
on his bike around town, just
waiting to experience and
waiting
Old
for
Bike and
something,
Billy.
waiting to watch another death.
Yep.
Mhm.
You know?
Yep.
Oh,
my gosh.
what a good scene.
It was so much. Like that death really was. I think I've seen a lot of people compare these deaths to like a Rube Goldberg machine.
Yes.
And this one really takes the cake for just how many things
Just
had to happen for her
Could
to
you
die.
imagine just all of these things like bam, cut in the neck, bam, lit on fire, bam, raining.
Like at
out,
that point, I'd be
bam,
like,
bam.
just take me. I'm ready. Like,
Yeah.
just
I'm done.
We're done here.
Yeah.
I'm done.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So I guess to film the rain of knives, what they did is they had like a fake body on the ground, and then the actress that played Miss Luton was under the floor, sticking only her head out.
Nice.
Like
So it was her
Pilgrim.
head to react to things, but then a fake body to get stabbed.
Just like Pilgrim.
Yes,
Yeah,
Nice.
just like Pilgrim.
It all
That's
comes full
amazing.
circle.
And honestly, it
all
looked
comes
pretty
full circle.
good.
Yeah.
I didn't catch that.
I
No, I
didn't
didn't
notice her
either.
head was the wrong angle or anything. Like
I didn't
Yeah.
notice it. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah. Oh, and I guess this house was just like a fake house that they had built in Vancouver, where they filmed, and the neighbors kind of liked it. Like they
Yeah.
kind of liked the house. They thought it looked kind of nice in their neighborhood, so they asked if they could keep it. Like they had told them that their plan was to blow it up, and the neighbors were like, I don't know, like it looks really nice. Could you guys just kind of keep it up? Could we like make it a real house, for
Oh my
someone to move
gosh.
into? But like it was a set, so like it
Yeah,
was
like-
in no way could function as a real house.
Right.
So they ended up still blowing it up.
Dang.
Which honestly, the neighbors were super excited to see a house blow up
I
anyway.
bet.
They all were able to go and watch it explode. So
Mhm, mhm.
it
Nice.
worked out.
That's
I
amazing.
just love that. It's like, guys, it looks really nice. Just leave it.
Yeah, we don't mind.
Looks good.
Oh my gosh. All right. So next we're supposed to have Carter's death, right?
Yeah,
Yes.
He's next in the line.
correct.
So all four of the kids are together at this point. It's Alex, Clear, Billy, and Carter.
Mhm.
They're all in the car. And at this point, Carter loses it. Like his patience is finally done. And he's like, you know what? Screw this. I want to control my death. So he starts driving like a madman.
Yes.
Yes.
He's just gonna kill
Basically just
himself
like
and all of them.
inviting death upon them.
Yes.
Mhm.
At which point he like speeds all through town and he still is escaping it. And he finally, they're screaming at him to stop the car. And he finally stops it on the train tracks.
Mhm.
Mhm.
And they all get out of the car, the other three, but Carter won't. They're like, Carter, get out of the car.
Mhm.
And at this point, right?
And Alex has a premonition of a seatbelt tearing.
Yes, that's
Yeah.
right.
Mhm.
That's right. So, yeah, because Carter is seatbelted in. So now Carter has changed his mind and he wants to get out of the car. He's like, never mind. I want to live.
Mhm.
But Death locks the doors and like jams his seatbelt so he can't get out of the car.
Mm-hmm.
This is when Alex comes in and the train is fast approaching. And Alex comes to his driver's side door and pulls him out and the seatbelt tears. So he's able to get Carter out just right before the train comes.
Right in the nick of time.
So Alex saves Carter.
Mhm.
And I love the detail of Carter having wet himself.
Mhm.
Yes.
Because I feel like a lot of times in horror movies or crime movies where people have died, I think that's a thing that happens in death that I don't know is not super glamorous. So like
Yep.
shows don't do it that much. But you know what?
No, he totally would have peed
If I
himself.
thought I was going to die, I would absolutely pee myself.
Yeah,
Yeah.
100.
No, it was a really good detail.
Yeah.
So I
that they
like
added.
that. Yeah.
And again, just so much anxiety. Like you
Uh-huh.
see
Yes.
the train coming. And I mean, because a bunch of these characters have died, you actually don't know if they're going to survive.
Exactly, because so far they're not surviving.
They're not.
Like
Yeah.
other than the plane crash, like
Yeah.
Mhm. Mhm.
Oh,
so then
but
they're all
we
on
get
the side of the tracks, and we see the camera pan to a piece of shrapnel, like metal shrapnel.
Yes. And you're like, what's going to happen?
It's like,
And
wait,
you're like, oh God, it's gonna be one of them. But at this point, I think we're not sure who it's gonna be.
No,
Because
Mhm.
we still think it's supposed to be Carter's turn.
it is.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And that's when bam, whoosha, he goes and decapitates poor Billy.
You know what though? At least his death, like it was just done.
His was
like,
fast.
by the time it happened,
I mean,
it was
so
done.
was Terry's, but yes,
Mhm.
his was fast and over.
At
just
least it
bam,
wasn't
right
like
off.
poor Miss Luton, like bleeding out and
I know.
on fire. And
Yeah.
Oh, and it wasn't even like I don't know. I feel like it's worse that it wasn't at the neck. It
Yes.
slices his head.
Yes.
yeah.
Disgusting.
Yeah.
So much
Amazing.
worse for some reason.
Yeah.
Oh, so good.
So good.
So is this when they kind of realize the theory?
I think
Yeah.
this is when they've realized the theory that if you break the pattern,
Mhm.
then the next person in line
It
survives.
goes to the next person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay.
So-
So now is supposed to be
Alex.
Alex.
Or so he thinks.
So he
Yeah.
thinks. So he goes to this cabin and he's trying to death proof it. He's like putting cushions over all sharp objects, hiding all knives. He's eating something. And my question to
like
the group
chicken in a can.
was it because
right?
I thought it was pure cat food.
No, I think it
Yeah.
was chicken in a can.
It
I've
was
been-
supposed to be chicken in a can.
I've been feeding Evie wet food because, again, of her surgery, my kitten, and it looked identical to what I give her.
No, it looks like cat food. It was
Yeah.
it was actually no, it wasn't even chicken in a can because he did not like it.
Yeah.
They did the the scene with the chicken in the can. He was like, this is disgusting. So they ended up using like mashed bananas
Oh,
is what he's
okay.
actually eating.
Yeah.
Gross,
It
Because
looks like
Devin.
cat food.
disgusting.
It looks like cat
Devin,
food.
I had higher hopes.
Also, why? Just don't have him eat anything.
Yeah, like dude,
Or-
just don't eat for 12 hours.
or just
like
make
you'll be
it
okay.
if you want to seem like make it even be like mashed potatoes or something. Like
Yeah, there you go. I
Yeah,
mean,
or
maybe
like-
the stove,
Like
the hot
like
water.
emergency ration kind of food
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
easy to make. No, that was so
it
gross.
looks so gnarly. Like that was like the grossest part of the movie to me.
But he survives.
Oh my
So-
God. And this has, I don't know why I found this so funny when, death arrives, like you get the breeze, the shadow and everything. and I think it's like the fishing rod
Yeah.
like falls down, and he goes and he checks the closet and he finds like a rusted nail or something. He's like, tetanus.
Yeah. Like, what? I love those like overly cheesy moments thrown in there that are like too much.
All the other deaths have been super fast. Like death
Yeah.
isn't gonna like give you tetanus. So
Yeah, death
funny.
isn't going to give you tetanus, dude.
I laughed
Like,
so much more than I should have at that.
Yeah.
Tetanus.
That's how
I got you.
my day
Oh,
was going to come. Oh my
Oh
God.
my god. But then we realize, or he realizes, he never switched seats or something. Honestly, I still can't follow.
I know. I
why the
can't either. The madman logic that is this theory, but whatever it is,
He's not next.
he's not next. Clear is next.
Yes. Yes.
So he's trying to rush to Clear, who lives in like a death trap of a home because she's like a welder. So she's got all this crazy metal scrapyard.
And he does this
situation
by
going on.
fleeing the police and then getting on a canoe.
Yeah.
the canoe's there, I think.
And
like, how are
they
you gonna
still
out
don't
the
catch
cops
him.
in a little canoe?
I love
Yeah,
this so much.
whatever that weird.
Anyway, canoes away.
So he canoes to Clear's house.
Mhm.
And there's a lot happening at Clear's house. There's a storm, her pool
Water.
breaks, there's water, there's a spark plug, there's a loose wire
A loose like electrical power line.
Yes.
down. The
Yes,
dog
a very
is
angry
hungry,
wire coming after
climbing
her.
up the thing, and then she gets trapped in her car. And by this time, Alex is there, and the police are still chasing them.
Mhm.
But Alex is like, it's okay, you're grounded, so it's okay. And so at this point, Alex realizes the only way to get her out of the car is to sacrifice himself and grab the wire.
Break the pattern. Yeah.
Break the pattern. So he does it.
Would you be grounded from a live wire
I don't know.
by the tires of your car?
I think it's technically the tires aren't what ground you, but you would be
Oh.
safe inside the car,
Okay.
but you wouldn't want to touch the outside of a car.
Okay.
Okay.
Because I wondered, scientifically,
The
if
science.
that part was correct.
Yeah, because I think that's right, because the tires wouldn't ground it, but
We're
you
not
would be safe inside.
archaeologists.
Yeah, we're not
Well,
archaeologists here. Okay.
Yeah,
We're
yeah.
not
Oh,
biologists.
I took one electrical engineering class and I thought I was going to drop out of
Oh,
college.
good for
So
you. I would.
that
have.
was I think I got a C-. So
Good for
I should not
you.
be the person giving the
Biology was rough for me, so
I got a
think
C
that's
plus in
wonderful.
physics,
Yeah.
and that's the hardest class I've taken.
You know what, guys? C's get degrees. is
C's
all I
get
have to say.
degrees.
They sure do.
Amen.
All
All right. So Alex sacrifices himself by grabbing the wire, and Clear gets out of the car. And then it
Mhm.
kind of like cuts the scene,
Mm-hmm.
right? And then does
Alex
it?
survives.
Yeah, it goes to seeing that Alex has survived.
They go to France.
They go to,
They're in
oh, that's right.
Paris.
Okay. They're on a plane and they
Mhm.
all look so good. Their hair is all like platinum-y
Yes.
and they're all
They're
pretty
blonde.
now.
And it's
Yeah.
Alex,
Blonde.
Clear, and Carter because they're all
Yes.
BFFs now.
Because they
Um,
survived death together.
Mhm.
Mhm.
So they're in Paris at a nice little cafe,
Mhm.
having a drink.
Yep.
Life is swell. And
Mhm.
they're like philosophizing about life.
Mhm.
Alex just can't let his like
Mhm.
theories go.
Right.
He has this little note that he's
And I
like,
don't really
one more
remember-
thing.
What is it that is this where he realizes like, oh no, wait, you had to have sacrificed yourself to really escape death, or what? I don't really remember his.
So they basically realize that, they could still die because death can always come back to you. And
Mhm.
Carter makes a really big deal out of the fact that Alex comes before him.
That's right.
He's like, oh, but I'm the luckiest person ever because I have you in front of me and you're always going to warn us or something.
Yeah.
And that's when Clear gets a vision of a bus
That's right.
right as Alex is walking away. So
Yeah.
she like yells, stops him, you see the bus come through. But
Yeah.
then you get another Rube Goldberg machine. I think the bus ends up hitting something else.
A sign.
Yeah, it
sign.
like hits a building, which
then
knocks over a
falls.
sign.
Yeah,
Which
so
the
you get this
sign-
giant sign. Mhm.
And the sign before it falls, when it's upside down, it looks like 081. But as it's falling, you can tell as it's going to turn around, it's going to be 180, which is the number of the flight that
I
crashes.
love
which
throwing
is the
180
number
in
of the
there.
Yeah, 180s
Oh,
everywhere.
Yeah, 180.
Mhm.
Yeah. And
It just
so Carter
smashed it.
saves Alex.
Yes.
Like he runs, he gets him, and then he's like, oh, wait, who's next? And then you see the sign come back, and then boom, cut to black.
Bam.
End of movie.
Classic
So
2000 movie.
So good.
So good.
So we get the last death, which is Carter getting hit by a
Damn.
giant sign.
Oh, so
Well
good. What a
deserved.
movie.
Oh my gosh. Oh, what a movie.
Oh.
I feel like there were so many scenes in this movie to talk about that I'm just glossed over
yes.
through
Yep.
like the deaths. I'm trying to think through
I know.
any other highlights.
I
Or do you
mean,
wanna do psych?
honestly,
I don't know.
yeah, maybe we need a psych segment break.
We could do
Yeah.
a psych segment, and then there's a scene that maybe toward the very end of our podcast I want to revisit.
Okay, let's do psych,
all
and then
right.
we can do other notable scenes because there's
Psych
so
and then
much
other
more.
notable things.
Mhm.
So a few things with psych. First thing that sprung to my mind was phobias. So Alex, even before he gets on the flight, you can tell he's got aerophobia. Aerophobia? Is that what it's called? Something like that. Fear of flying.
Sounds right.
Mhm.
So like he has, the bag tag on his luggage, and he doesn't want his mom to take it off because he's got this superstition that that's what stopped him from crashing the
This
last
whole
time.
movie wouldn't have happened if she had kept
It's all
that
the
back
mom's
tag
fault.
on.
Yeah.
It's all the mom's
That
fault.
jerk.
Mhm.
So he's got a fear of flying. So phobias is a thing that is, a kind of common thing for people. People have phobias of all different things. So should we talk about, because I know we've talked about a lot of other things that I'd want to diagnose in this movie, like PTSD and depression and stuff like that. So let's talk about instead methods for addressing phobia in therapy.
Ooh, yes.
Yeah.
So there's a couple common ways that you could address phobias. So one would be flooding or exposure therapy.
Dun, dun, dun.
So that would be if you have, for example, okay, so tell me your fears. Each of you can tell me a fear that you have.
Spiders.
Okay.
I
The
literally won't
deep
sleep.
ocean,
Okay. So
deep water.
Yvette, if I was going to do flooding or exposure therapy, which I would not because I feel like it's slightly unethical. If I were to do that for you, I would
I
put you in a
decline.
room filled with spiders and just let you be.
Nope.
You got to
No.
get over it because there's no
Absolutely
way
not.
around it. You're in this room with spiders.
No.
Eventually, the theory is you're exposed to this massive amounts of your fear. So eventually, like you'll have to come to this like homeostasis. You'll have to come to this like place where you can accept it. Or Brianna, I'm just going to throw you in the middle of the ocean.
Okay, great. Then I'll die. So mine will kill me. But great.
Okay, see, but does that work?
Twice.
Because I would cry. I would roll up into a ball and I would cry. And I think it would re-traumatize me. And I'd be more afraid of spiders.
Mhm. So the opposite end of the spectrum for addressing some phobias would be when you do systematic desensitization. So this would be something where you start a very, very subtle or distance exposure to the thing that you're afraid of. So this would be like, Yvette, I would say, just imagine a spider. And then I coach you on coping skills, on calming yourself, on deep breathing, on relaxing your body. And then I show you a picture of a spider, and then we get you to calm down. And then I get you like within a room of a spider, and I get you to calm down. So that's like more of like a gentle
Yeah.
way.
Mhm.
I like
I
that.
feel like Alex and his crew were definitely in that flooding. He's afraid of plane crashes, and he's just directly confronted with the worst plane crash you could ever imagine.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So that's kind of
Yeah.
what went down for them.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I also want to talk a lot about survivor's guilt because I feel like that was the biggest
Yes.
theme of this whole
Mhm.
movie.
Especially poor Miss Luton. Oh,
Yeah.
Yes,
No, really, especially
absolutely.
her.
Yeah. So survivor's guilt is where you someone close to you, or whether you've witnessed it or it's just been someone close to you, but someone has died or been through some tragedy and you have not. So you have these feelings of guilt, and common symptoms can be, you just have a guilt, you have obsessive thoughts over what happened, you have mood swings and angry outbursts. Hello, Carter. You have feelings of helplessness, social problems, or isolation. I feel like that's clear. For
yes.
Mhm.
sure. Suicidal thoughts. At a certain point, I feel like that gets to Carter again, because he's like, I'm just going to kill myself.
Yep.
I mean, yeah.
Trouble sleeping. Alex.
Yeah.
Yep.
Lack of motivation and depression. Headaches, stomach aches, and flashbacks. So I feel
Oh.
like a lot of the people that have survived this just have this this intense guilt that they survived when those around them didn't.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's definitely a thing in this movie for sure.
Mhm.
You can like see it throughout the entire thing with each character.
Mhm.
Yep.
And then also something that came to my mind was basically, I think that they're going through stages of grief as well.
Yes.
They've just lost their classmates, their colleagues, their peers, their friends, their siblings in Todd's
Mhm.
case.
Yes.
And I feel like the movie kind of tries to give some stages. So Dr. Elizabeth Kubler-Ross, she is the person who came up with the famous 5 stages of grief.
Mm.
Right.
Either of you know them?
Okay, wait. Wait.
Yeah, we can
Anger?
do this.
Denial? Acceptance?
Acceptance.
Um
Oh, bargaining.
Bargaining. Yes.
I'm giving you
Crying.
Sadness.
Oh, sadness.
Go a little deeper.
Depression.
Yeah.
Okay, got it.
Yeah.
That wasn't the right order, but
No, it's not quite the right order, but yeah, those are the 5
Nice.
symptoms. So denial, I think, is just the whole community, because
yeah.
they're really all just in denial over what happened, and also over the fact that Alex saved these people. They're just
Yes.
they're not acknowledging the tragedy of what happened or the fact that some of them escaped. They just kind of go on like normal lives. Like, I survived this, and F you because of it.
Yeah.
Anger, I would for sure say, is Carter. He treats Alex with such hostility. He's basically,
And Miss Luton is
and Miss
angry.
Luton. Yeah. And many of them for sure. They, instead of grieving the loss of their community, they just become angry and target Alex for it.
Yeah.
For bargaining, I would say Alex and Claire, because here they are trying to cheat death,
Yeah.
which really is not something that you can do, but they're trying to bargain with death, saying, oh, if I can break your pattern, can I survive?
Yeah. Totally.
Which is a little different than like the normal bargaining. A lot of times, if you're really, if you're grieving, you're saying, okay, well, if I, take me and give them back, or,
But it's definitely like a form of
it's
bargaining.
a form of it, for sure.
Yeah.
Depression, lots of them. I think especially though, what they portrayed for the depression was Todd and Claire.
Yeah.
I think
And
that
Miss
they were
Luton
both
even.
and
Like,
Miss Luton. Yeah.
yeah.
And then finally, acceptance. I would say at one point, Billy, when they're in the car and Carter's like, wanting to kill them all or whatever, right before he does that, Billy kind of says, well, if it's going to happen, what's the point?
Yeah.
Let's just accept it. Like, it's going to happen anyway. So there's nothing we can do to stop it.
No, they do all embody a different stage.
Yeah. So I think he kind of expresses that acceptance. So,
Yeah.
So yeah, those are kind of the initial psych
Fascinating.
thoughts that I had for it.
I love that.
Yeah.
And I think those are all psych things that we haven't like been met with.
Yeah.
Because we didn't have like a villain. I mean, I guess you could say death.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
but it's not the same. So I like that we got like a different type of psych vibes.
Because initially, I'm thinking also there's the PTSD element, the depression element, the bully element, but we've talked about all of that.
Right.
So
No, I like
wanted to go a different route this
well done.
These were good. And honestly, I kind of wish they would have gone a little more into the grief of things, like especially with Alex, where like after Todd dies, where it's like that was your best friend.
Yes,
that was a friend.
Like he would be torn up.
Maybe like a little bit more sad.
Yes,
a little bit more trying to figure out what's going on. I wish they would have gone into it just a little bit more.
A little bit, yeah, I
agree.
Like that was a friend he literally pooped with.
Yeah, what the hell was that?
Why
about?
were there so many bathroom scenes?
Ever want to talk about that? Like
I also had this. Why were there so many bathrooms?
There were so
friends really poop together like that.
No,
wait. I don't want any stories. I don't want any personal anecdotes.
No,
that was a rhetorical question.
Okay.
That was not a invitation for story time question.
Or was it? It seemed like Laura was really excited to share.
No, I'm not. No. Got nothing to say.
That will be when we do our Patreon. You can pay us.
Yeah, Spooky Sips After Dark.
Spooky Sips After Dark. You'll get that story.
That's
so.
But like they have so many scenes of guys sitting on toilets.
You know what though? That was a very early 2000s like Jackass type vibe. Like that humor was like. No, I feel like that dumb guy humor was totally a 2000s thing.
Yeah.
I just could not imagine going to the bathroom with someone sitting in a stall across from them and pooping at the same time.
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe that was 2000s of them, but it was weird.
Yeah.
Okay. I feel like one other thing that was very 2000s is when they're at the memorial and Alex goes and stands next to Todd and he's like, I don't want you to take this the wrong way, but I really miss you.
Yeah.
Yes. Like, dude.
No homo.
Yeah. What was it that they used? Yeah. No homo.
I miss you.
No homo. I miss you.
But I miss you as a friend.
Man, what a time we lived through.
That was so funny.
You look back at it and it's like wild.
Why? It's embarrassing.
It is embarrassing. We should all collectively be embarrassed.
Oh God.
So good. So good. What were one where I like audibly laughed was when Clear, Carter, and Billy go to find Alex, who's in the beach somewhere. And, Clear's like, okay, I'll start here. You guys start there and we'll find him. And it was like a 2-second walk.
Yeah, she just walked straight to him.
She immediately found him.
So according to my Amazon pause, here's what happened. They actually shot it at a beach. And there weren't any trees. So they planted a couple little random trees to make it look like she's going through a maze.
Yeah.
But again, it only took like 2 seconds.
Right.
And then the rest of it, they just shot on some sound stage or something.
Nice.
Yeah, they ended up moving to a set anyway because the ocean is loud. So you can't really shoot there.
No.
So it's like, guys, just make it a little bit more.
Build a better set. Like
a couple more trees.
Take 5 more minutes, I don't know.
Oh my gosh, yeah. I'm trying to think of other noticeable thing.
I have another fun fact while you're looking.
Yes.
So one of the things that appeared when I was pausing was that there is the Chinese title to this movie is not Final Destination. It is called The Death God Comes. Which I think is a better title.
I like that.
I like that. And that fits the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, I think originally this title was this movie was maybe going to be titled Flight 180.
It was.
Oh, I believe that.
Yeah, but the studio didn't like it though because they didn't want it to be confused with. There were a couple other like action plane movies that were coming out at the time.
Yeah.
And so they didn't want it to get mixed in with that. So they came up with Final Destination.
I mean, it's not a bad one.
It's so good. I love it.
Like, what is that? What is Final Destination mean?
Your death destiny, your final
I mean, it really does
like
kind of go with the flight, right? Like you reach your final destination.
Yeah, that's true.
Oh, true. Yeah. Plus, that's easier to make a sequel with than flight
True.
180.
Exactly. You just
Okay.
keep changing the flight number.
Also, so there's like that beginning scene where Alex is asleep. Oh, there's two fun facts with that one actually. One, the actor actually fell asleep at the beginning when they were filming.
What do you mean the actor? Do you mean Devon Sawa?
Sorry, Devon Sawa actually
has a
fell
proper
asleep on
name.
set. That's proper name.
Don't get it.
He fell asleep and they kind of just worked around him. So he was asleep on set for 4 hours.
What?
Oh my gosh.
Let him take a nap.
What a teenager. I love that.
God.
So anyway, the scene where he's asleep and then the clock, switches to 180, to transition to the flight number. That took him 5 days to figure out.
Oh my God.
Guys, just make it flight 145.
Yeah.
Just
change
make it a
the flight
real
number.
time.
They already made the sign for the 180. They can't.
They already done everything else. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Amazing.
Oh, back before all of the technology to just make it super easy.
Classic.
Oh my gosh.
I can't believe he was asleep. That's amazing.
Yeah, just fell asleep for 4 hours.
Love it.
I love that.
Love it.
Okay. One thing with the movie that I feel like we need to talk about is it originally had a different ending.
Oh.
So it has a couple scenes that were deleted and then a different ending. So let's talk about it. And then we can see if you guys like this change or think they should have stuck with the original.
Okay.
So in the original cut for this movie, there was going to be the scene where they're at the beach was going to be longer. And it was going to be, I think it was insinuated that Alex and Clear sleep together.
Okay.
I don't know if they had like a whole scene or if it was just going to be more heavily insinuated that was going to happen.
I could see that.
But yeah, so that was going to be part of it. And then later we were going to get a different scene of Clear taking a pregnancy test that is positive.
Oh, shit.
And then we see her throw it in the trash with other positive tests. So she's like definitely pregnant is what we learn.
Oh no.
So then we jump to the scene in Clear's garage, where she's in the car and Alex is going to go and like grab the cable. So the scene goes where he goes and grabs the cable, he falls back and then lights on fire and he dies. Like he fully dies.
Yeah.
And then they do the, fade to like white or black. And then we see Clear in the hospital giving birth to, I believe she names the baby Alex. It's like, oh, this is baby Alex. So then she gets like, you get like a breeze coming through, like what we think is death, but she is getting as Alex kind of like watching over them.
Yeah.
She takes the baby to the memorial where they see Carter and they talk about like life or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And that's it. That's how the movie ends.
Oh, I like it.
Wild.
So they tested this. This was the original. The audience felt kind of meh about it.
Yeah.
They
Okay.
basically realized that they were losing people by the end because the ending felt kind of disconnected from the rest of the movie.
Yeah.
Like it just had a different tone that their target audience of teenagers didn't really like.
Yeah.
So that's why they ended up scrapping that. And then they refilmed the new ending and cut the whole pregnancy and everything out. So what do you guys think?
As you were saying it, I was like, oh, I really like that ending. I feel like I would buy into that. But I can also see their perspective of when I was younger watching it, especially because it was my love, I would have been really mad if they'd killed off Devon Sawa. So I think they probably made the right call, but I almost think now I'd prefer that original ending.
Yeah. Oh, and that was part of it. People hated that he died.
Yeah.
They did not like that. And they hated that Carter lived. It was like, why does he get to live? He's the jerk. Like, why is he around at the end?
Now I kind of like it, but back then I think I would have hated it. Yeah.
Yeah, I have to say, I don't think I would have liked that as much because I'm a fan when a movie doesn't end on a hopeful note. And that's a little too hopeful for me. Like, I like that the movie ends with Carter just being smashed out of the sky by a billboard. So yeah, I don't think I would have liked it.
Right. Because then, so then the idea, the movie was more going to push, you can cheat death with new life. versus
Oh,
you can strategically cheat death by trying
I
to
see.
figure out what's coming next. So
yeah.
it changed the movie a bit.
Yeah.
Oh, totally different movie ending it that
Yeah.
way.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm kind of happy that they changed it. I think it makes it more, I think it fits the first section of the movie a lot more. And then
I
it
think
keeps
so.
it. I think part of what makes Final Destination actually a kind of good movie is that it's like a popcorn flick, right? That you went and saw in the movies when you were a teenager and it was kind of fun. And you can just eat popcorn. It's kind of like funny. Like that scene at the end is so good
Yeah.
with all of the signs. Like it was a good like last like
It
death
is.
for
It's
it.
a classic ending.
I think it fit the movie better.
I think
Yeah,
to
so.
keep it that
Agreed.
way.
I
I
agree.
don't know. Yeah, it's a little more serious with the
Yeah.
other one, but I don't think Final Destination is supposed to be a super serious movie.
No, I don't think so.
No,
Yeah.
No.
definitely not.
Especially based off the sequels.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, love it.
Oh my gosh. Okay. We can do some other fun facts. So, Laura, you will hate to see this. Someone else, like the studio wanted someone else to play Alex
Idiots.
Browning,
How dare they?
and they wanted someone else to play Clear. They
Oh.
wanted pre-Spider-Man, Tobey Maguire and Kirsten Dunst as the leads for this movie.
Oh,
my
weird. I
So this
can't
was
see
before
them.
Spider-Man. They had not worked together in the
Yeah.
past.
Mhm.
I
But
cannot see them doing this.
You know,
Yeah.
it's so funny, but I can.
you
I
totally
can
see
see it.
I can see
It'd be
Kirsten
different.
Dunst. I cannot see Tobey Maguire doing it. I
It'd
don't
be
know
very
why.
different.
It would
but
be.
I
It
could
would
see
be.
it.
I think it actually would have worked.
Yeah.
How
I actually think
funny.
it would have worked well.
Oh, I love
Yeah.
that.
I always love learning who was supposed to be in the movies
Mhm.
Right?
because it's
It's like, oh, in
so
another
different.
world, we would have
A
gotten
parallel universe.
Tobey Maguire, Kirsten Dunst to
Yeah.
Final Destination.
Wow.
So yeah, they didn't confirm if it was because of Spider-Man that they ended up not doing it, because they were the preferred actors
Yeah.
by the studio. Like they wanted them. So some people theorize that because of how early casting would have been for Spider-Man, they probably turned it down for
Yeah.
the Spider-Man movie, which
It's fair.
is fair. That
They made the
that
right
was
call.
Probably a better move.
Yeah. Good call,
For 'em.
guys.
What
Good
if
call.
Devon Sawa had instead become Spider-Man?
Now that I definitely cannot
Oh,
see.
in a funny coincidence, he did end up voicing one of the Spider-Man characters in the Spider-Man animated series.
Oh, interesting.
Such a
Small world.
Spider-Man connections. Yeah. The script was originally pitched as an episode for the X-Files.
Nice.
Okay.
I can see that.
Mhm.
Let's see, what else do we have? I think we've actually talked about a lot of these. In the scene, I think it was kind of early on, where Alex looks out the window and he sees the lightning bolt strike the middle of his street. What they wanted was the lightning to look like a hand pointing at him.
Oh,
To
no.
kind of be like,
Fail.
You're next.
yeah, they totally admit that did not work. Like they
was
they
epic
just
fail.
didn't figure out the angles, and they
No,
it
that
did
would
not look like it. They
Mhm.
acknowledge it didn't look like it, but that's what they originally wanted.
Okay. Yeah.
The director received a 70 on his driver's test, and so that's how they got the idea for Billy's line.
Nice.
Nice.
About getting a 70.
Oh, Billy.
I
May
failed
he
my
rest
driver's
in
test the
peace.
very first time.
Did you?
Well, yes, because I was driving. When I took my driver's test, I had been practicing in our cars, which was a Ford Windstar minivan or some other car. And then I had to do the driver's test in the DMV's car.
Oh, weird.
I'm driving my own car.
Yeah.
And I had to parallel park, and I touched the curb twice while parallel parking.
Oh,
I
no.
never parallel parked again, mind you.
I'm really good at parallel parking.
Traumatized.
I'm okay at it.
I'm
I
really
did-
good at it.
When
No,
I
I
took
actually have done it, but I hate to do it. But he failed me on it. And the DMV driver's man had fingernails that were like an inch thick
Disgusting.
with like
Oh.
fungus or something.
Oh,
So I think it was distracting me. I was having a hard time
No, you couldn't
driving the car
focus.
because he had these inch thick fingernails.
Disgusting.
when I took my test, the car, so I had to use their car too. I did like the third party driving school because the DMV was
Mhm.
booked up for a while. The car that they do it in had a reverse camera, but they told me just don't look when you're parallel parking. They're like, yeah. Like, don't look at it though, because that's cheating. So I was
Yeah,
like,
okay. They
But
should have
you
like
have
covered
it.
it.
don't worry, I won't look.
I won't
That-
look.
That did not exist when I was taking my test. That was
Nope.
no one had a reverse camera
Nope.
because I'm old.
Yep.
Like, just don't look at it. I was like, yeah, I promise.
Oh man.
Oh my gosh. Clear's art, like her metal art
Mhm.
thing, they received from just a local artist in Vancouver where they were
Nice.
filming. And they ended up adding in the line about how Alex is the springy head
Okay.
guy. Because when they saw it, they were like, I don't know, let's add something. We have all this art. Like, we might as well
Right.
comment on the sculpture, which I thought was weird.
I thought you
That
were
was
going to say
weird.
they received it from the local elementary school.
No, it's
That's
kind of
what I-
weird, right?
I don't
Like, it
think you
looks
would let most children play with welding.
like welding
But it
tools.
looks like a kid did it. I don't know.
If
I
someone
don't
told
get
me
art.
that reminded me of them, I'd be a little sad.
Yeah.
It's like a head looking thing
Be
with
like,
holes
thanks.
on like a giant spring. It was weird.
It was
Thank
weird.
you.
It was
It was weird.
weird.
Yeah, I don't get art. I don't get it.
Yeah, we clearly just don't get it. And then, the cabin that they used, that was supposed to be Clear's cabin, was the same cabin used in the Lake Placid movie.
Oh,
Oh,
interesting.
One fun one. When one of the executives who ended up greenlighting this project for New Line, who did like the financing and the distributing and stuff, he got the script and he planned on reading it while on a flight. So he started reading it, and then he realized his flight number was 180.
No, I would get off the plane.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Terrifying.
So I feel like that had to contribute to him greenlighting it, right?
Has
Right.
He had
to.
experience, and he's like,
to.
"That's creepy.
That's
Yeah.
so
This is
creepy.
creepy. We're greenlighting."
That's so creepy.
I did see
Uh,
in one of my fun facts that they there at one point in the movie there's footage that they're showing Alex is watching news reports of the flight that crashed, and they used real flight footage.
Yeah, because there was a real flight that really did explode.
Yeah, TWA flight 800.
Yep.
There was also a flight in 1996 that was carrying a high school French club, and it
Mhm.
exploded suddenly.
Oh,
So
too
they-
soon, guys.
Yeah.
Absolutely too soon. And they, in the commentary that I saw, the like director did kind of bring up the fact that happened and said he kind of regretted it. It's like, guys, that's
Mhm.
too soon.
Yeah, too soon.
That's really
That's
soon.
too soon.
Yeah.
You can't change it.
yeah.
Make it slightly different at
Right.
least.
And
Right.
yet 23 years later, we're still watching it.
It's
Okay.
true. It's true.
Uh-huh.
But come on. Like,
Yeah.
it was a real tragedy. I know. And it's sad because the only reason we learn it really happened is, researching
Because of this movie. Right.
But yeah, too soon, guys.
Too
Mhm.
soon.
Okay. One of the other like big fun facts is a lot of the characters were named off of like famous actors, directors, producers, etc. So I'm going to go down the list.
Okay.
So main character, Alex Browning, was named after the director, Todd Browning, famously known for Dracula and Freaks. Then we had the teacher, Valerie Luton, named after Val Luton, who was a big producer. We had Agent Ween, I think is how you pronounced it, named after director Robert Ween for Cabinet of Dr. Caligari, which I've thrown out for this podcast.
Yes.
I watch it. And then Agent Shrek, he did do us first. This was pre-Shrek, the movie.
Oh, I was going to say.
He
I
was
know
named
this
after
one.
Max Shrek, who starred in Nosferatu, not Shrek,
Okay.
Oh,
the green monster
all
we
right.
were
I
all
was
familiar
thinking-
with.
Shrek, the green monster.
Yeah.
Ogre.
he's not a monster.
He's not a monster.
Sorry.
He's an ogre.
Sorry. Yes, Shrek the ogre. And then we had Todd Wagner, who was named after the director George Wagner, commonly known for The Wolf Man. We had Billy Hitchcock, no need for introduction there, Alfred Hitchcock.
Nice.
We had Terry Chaney, who was named after Lon Chaney, who was the Phantom in Phantom of the Opera. Larry Murnau, who was named after F.W. Murnau, who directed Nosferatu. And then the last one, we had Blake Dreyer, who was named after Carl Theodor Dreyer, who directed Vampire.
Oh,
So
that's kind of cool.
A lot of famous director producer names on here.
That's pretty cool, though.
I wonder how many people got that when watching the movie.
You probably know
most people probably got Hitchcock.
Yeah.
I didn't actually realize that they said his last name was Hitchcock, so I didn't get that just because I didn't hear it. But
yeah, also like, come on, that is ballsy to name so many of your characters after famous people. Like those are some big references you're throwing out.
Those are some big references,
right?
For sure.
Okay, I think that's all the fun facts.
Nice.
Should we get to this time in history?
I think I am very excited for this time in history.
I know one this time.
Do you want to do it?
Y2K.
Yeah. Yes. The big one.
That's the thing. Yeah, no, that's the first thing on my list. Like, we can't not talk about Y2K.
No, I mean, we have to.
I'm thinking of.
Yep.
Do you want to like describe it at all
on your jeans
for anyone who didn't, I guess, know Y2K?
Yeah.
I mean, they literally thought the world was going to end. The computers would all malfunction and the world would end as we know it.
Yeah. Basically we all of our years in computers had actual digits, but when they went to 00, the computers were going to think that it was, the end of times, and they weren't going to be able to handle because it wasn't like an actual number. It was just 2 zeros.
Mm-hmm.
And the whole world.
And everyone was like, everything's going to end. Go buy toilet paper.
People built
for some reason.
bunkers.
Oh, yeah. It was legit.
Yeah. People actually freaked out that the world
if you think
end.
the pandemic toilet paper thing was the first time that's happened, it's not.
No, kids.
Why always toilet paper, though?
I don't know.
Guys, just buy the appropriate amount. There's enough for everyone.
We'll all get through this together. We're going to be okay,
really,
kids.
If you don't have enough food, you shouldn't be worried about toilet paper. That should be the least of your worries. Hoard food if you're going to hoard anything.
Right.
Yeah.
And water.
Wild times.
Why always toilet paper? I don't know. There's something in the human psyche. We'll do a deep dive in the after hours.
This movie has a bunch of scenes of people on toilets, so something is hitting close to home.
Something was going on.
Yeah.
It's all related. So yeah, the big one is Y2K. Honestly, there was so much stuff. I just kind of randomly picked.
Yep, let's hear it.
Because there was so much happening in 2000.
I think that's best because it was a random year. So.
Right? Okay, so in the US, Bill Clinton was president.
Oh,
but we got the controversial, I know words, Bush versus Al Gore
that's right.
election, which ended up ultimately going to Bush.
Mm-hmm.
We had Bill Gates step down as the CEO of Microsoft in order to focus on the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation.
Mm-hmm.
India's population reached 1 billion people in 2000, which is crazy.
Yeah.
Australia hosted the Summer Olympics in Sydney.
Nice.
Okay.
You're welcome for not attempting an accent.
Mate.
I'm awful at it too. So
Australia, mate.
it'd be embarrassing for all of us. The first crew to live on the International Space Station arrived and stayed for 136 days.
I remember that.
Wild. Like that's still wild to me.
Yeah.
Sony released the PlayStation 2. I think they're on like the 5 now. I don't know. The final Peanuts comic strip was published.
Oh, I remember that.
I remember
it was
that.
big deal.
Yeah. Formula One returned to the United States. Tiger Woods became the youngest player to win a Grand Slam in golf.
Oh, Tiger.
Bill Belichick became the head coach of the New England Patriots. He is currently the longest tenure active head coach in the NFL.
Wow.
That was 23 years ago.
Nemesis.
Wild.
It's 23 years ago.
Stupid Patriots. Sorry,
51.
Stephanie.
Oh, go ahead.
No, I just said stupid Patriots. So then I said, sorry, Stephanie. She might be listening.
51 million viewers turned in to watch the first season finale of Survivor.
Oh my gosh, Survivor was such a big deal.
Yeah.
Our aunt used to love that show.
Such a big deal.
Oh my gosh.
I feel like people just loved it. That was,
They
yeah.
did.
Yes,
It was a big deal.
intense.
Yeah.
Eminem, like the rapper's mom, sued him for defamation for $10 million for the line, my mom smokes more dope than I do, in one of his songs.
Nice.
He ended up paying her $1,600. The court
I
decided
thought you were
$10
going to
million
say
was
for the
too
line,
much.
Mom spaghetti.
For the
Oh
arms,
my gosh.
knees weak. Spaghetti.
Mom spaghetti.
So good.
Sorry.
Brad Pitt and Jennifer Aniston got married.
Oh, the
America's-
nostalgia.
What a year.
America's sweethearts.
And then I have just a list of the popular films. So we had How the Grinch Stole Christmas,
Mhm.
Castaway, Mission Impossible 2. How long? How many more do we need?
Wow.
Gladiator, What Women Want, The Perfect Storm, Meet the Parents, X-Men, and Scary Movie.
Nice. Oh,
Yeah.
oh, so much nostalgia.
So much
So
happened.
much.
Also, that was 23 years ago.
Which is
23.
really just too much for me to think
Yeah.
about.
That was like 10 years ago, right?
Yeah. No,
Sure.
2000 was 10 years ago. So I don't know what you're talking about.
It was 23 years.
And also 1990 was 10 years ago.
It's 10 years ago.
No, it was
So
33 years ago.
And it was
I
20 years ago at most.
stand by my opinion.
And
at
yet
most.
80s were like 40 years ago. So
No, 80s were 20 years ago.
For our math, it's just minus 10 to 20 years.
Yes, exactly. There it is. Oh, what a good movie. All right. I think
yeah.
it's time that we get in to our sips, because here on Spooky Sips, we don't give stars, we give sips.
Mhm.
So ladies, here's the thing. It's like, this isn't really a horror movie. I guess you could say it's a scary,
Yeah.
I use that in quotes, like a scary movie.
because there's death. Yeah.
Yeah, because there's death, but either
Kind
way,
of
how
there's
many
definitely
sips?
deaths.
Yeah,
in
there
it.
are deaths. So how many sips out of 5
Mm.
do you give this movie?
I feel like for me, it's like a 3.1,
Okay.
you know, like a 3. I have to give it some credit for just it's how, I don't know, how common it's known, right? Like its role in just like the zeitgeist. Like again, like I can't drive behind a car that looks
Right.
kind of sketchy without being like, this is some Final Destination.
No,
shit. I
it's
need
an
to move.
establishment.
It
It
is. They
Mhm.
found a way to like not be super scary, but
Yeah.
also it's scary enough that it makes you worry.
And it lasted with all
It
of
did.
us.
Mhm.
Yes.
Oh, also, I feel like I like making note of like my dreams after a scary movie because it's like, did it invade my dreams? And like, what's wrong with my head? Because I had a dream that I was on a plane, which like, okay, yeah, right, this checks out, right? There were snakes on it. I had a dream about snakes on a plane.
What's up with these motherfucking snakes on this motherfucking plane?
I was like, brain, that's the wrong movie.
Wrong movie.
The wrong movie.
Amazing. I
Okay,
love the
Not
way
even
your brain
scary
works.
snakes. There were some little snakes where it was like, this is a slight inconvenience.
I love the way your brain works.
That's amazing. Okay, I have a story about snakes on the plane.
Let's hear
When
it.
that movie came out, I was living with my friend Liz. Shout out Liz again. And she found some sort of a website because apps weren't even a thing yet.
Mhm.
She found some sort of a website where you could have a generated voicemail from Samuel L. Jackson, leaving you like quotes about the snakes being
Oh
on the
my
plane.
gosh.
So she like had like Samuel L. Jackson give me a call and like leave me these messages about the snakes on the plane. And it was the most ridiculous and amazing.
That is so ridiculous.
Oh, that's amazing. I mean,
Early
they basically
2000s
brought that
thing ever.
back, right? Isn't there like an app or something where you can
Probably.
ask like celebrities to give you a shout out?
Oh, for sure.
Probably.
I don't
yeah.
know.
Yeah.
Sponsor us. We'll say your name.
Yeah, sponsor us.
Anyway,
Okay,
what's your
sorry,
guys'
I derailed.
All right, I am going to give it a 2.5.
rating?
Okay.
And I'm on the lower end because it's so cheesy. There's so much cheese throughout the movie that
Mhm.
it's not quite up to a 3 for me, but yes,
Mhm.
because of how well known it is and just the impact that it had
Mhm.
on us,
Mhm.
I'm gonna give it a 2.5.
Yeah.
2.5.
Yeah. I rolled my eyes so many times, especially at the beginning. I was like,
Yeah,
eyes
beginning was
rolled to
awful.
the back of my head.
Mhm.
Mhm. Mhm. I think that I am a bit in between you two. I was going to go with a 2.75
All right.
because a 3 is what I reserve for a movie that's good.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And I do have to respect the staying power of this movie and the fact that everyone knows about Final Destination.
Right.
Like you'll use it as a phrase, like, oh, that's a Final Destination moment when you're driving
Yeah.
behind a truck. But yeah, it was also, the acting was horrendous. And
But Devin Sawa.
Devin Sawa.
It was very fitting for the time.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Also, I feel like we're wrapping up, so this is a good time to tell you both that I have a surprise for you.
Oh.
Another surprise.
If you'll think back to the movie Pilgrim,
Mhm.
I think you'll remember that I had a present for you both with some phrases that I came up with
Oh my gosh.
for the
I do
family.
remember
and
that.
their
Yep.
actions.
Mhm.
I have done such phrases again. Are you
Okay.
guys ready for them?
Oh, here we
Before
go.
we announce
We're
our
ready.
next movie.
Oh, I
Yep.
love it.
So, when thinking about Alex and his friend Todd and pooping in the bathroom together, which stuck with me, I just thought that's a special moment.
That's the part that stuck with you. Yeah.
Yeah, I couldn't get it out of my head. So then I thought, well, the friends that poop together are in a death loop together.
Oh my God. Stop.
The friend. Hold on.
I can't.
The friends that shit together don't quit together.
I can't.
I
Hold on,
can't.
there's more. Hold on. It gets better.
Oh.
The friends that crapped together are trapped together.
Oh my God. Stop.
The friends that stink together go in a blink together.
Oh.
Okay.
Sorry,
That one's too
was
far.
dark.
The friends that fought. So stupid.
I
Okay,
love
hold on.
these.
2 more. The friends that potty together are naughty together. That one I don't think makes sense for the movie, but it rhymed. And the very last one, my favorite one. The friends that sit on the John together will soon be gone together.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
That was something
There you go, ladies.
special. Thank
Snap.
you.
Snap.
Yeah.
I knew
Thank
you'd
you
appreciate it.
for that
can cut that
special
part.
moment.
Oh,
Oh,
You can
no.
cut that
thank
part
you.
if you'd
No,
like.
thank
Oh
you
no,
so
we're
much.
leaving. We're leaving that
We're leaving
special
all of those.
special poetry reading. Yeah, let's give Laura snaps.
I worked
now,
really hard, you
everyone.
guys.
Snap.
Mhm. I bet you did.
I believe that you worked hard on those.
I believe that you worked
and that's why they're
hard.
staying in.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah. There you go.
Anyways, what an ending to this podcast. All right. So next time on Spooky Sips, we're moving to the future and we're going to go see Megan. I am very excited
I'm
for
so
this one.
excited. Guys, I
so-
already watched it.
If
It's
you
so
haven't
good.
seen it, head to the theater and go watch Megan so that you can catch up with us in 2 weeks. Okay.
Bye. Oh, I'm so excited for Megan.
Oh my gosh,
I won't say
I'm
anything else, but
I'm
I'm excited. Thanks for listening to Spooky Sips. If you enjoyed this episode and you'd like to help support the podcast, please share it with others, subscribe, and leave a rating or review wherever you're listening. To stay up to date on all the spooky things we're up to, don't forget to follow us on Facebook and Instagram at SpookySips_podcast. Thanks again for listening,